For Upper Michigan, David Pfaff, Carl Bonet. This is your Fox UP News in prime time.
He's resigning from the Marquette County Board. Jim Siak is stepping down for personal family reasons. The 61-year-old Siak is relocating to Ottawa County in the Lower Peninsula. He says he'll leave before the end of February after more than 11 years on the board. Once he resigns, the county board will have 30 days to appoint a successor. If no one is chosen, there will be a countywide special election to fill the seat. Siak represents the city of Marquette's east and north sides. I'll make the announcement official at tomorrow night's board meeting. Siak's term expires at the end of the year. Escanaba High School has a new mass text message service that's saving the school a lot of time and money. Today, the principal sent out his first mass text message reminder that the first day of midterm exams is Wednesday. The texting service costs the district about $40 a month, and it's free for parents and students to sign up. They can get notified of delays, school closings, and events.
Like, for example, like I said, when I have a parent informational night or a parent advisory council meeting, I'm not going to do a $500 mailing for that. But for basically pennies, I can send a text to a big group of parents and say, hey, listen, if you're interested, please let us know.
There are currently 150 parents and 400 students signed up for the service. For many parents, the cold winter means usually their kids can't burn off all their energy outside. That leaves them looking for ways to have fun inside. Fox UP News reporter Gabriella DeLuca visited the NMU swimming pool to see how kids are beating cabin fever by making a splash. Gabriella?
David, I know when I was younger, I hated staying inside during the winter. But just because it's cold out doesn't mean you can't get some exercise. And that's exactly what these kids did tonight. An indoor winter sport has kids diving in, and parents relieved that their children can do something to release their pent-up winter energy. The YMCA swim team meets each weekday during the winter to train and to just let the kids swim around and have fun.
The thing I like about swimming is, first of all, we're in a warm environment in the middle of winter, so I get to work in shorts. But I think it's a great way to get kids activity.
Not everyone is required to compete. Anyone can join and swim as much or as little as they like.
Physical fitness is shown to do all kinds of wonderful things, including improve their skills in school, and the parents love it because their kids are getting some activity and then they're coming home tired and they sleep well.
There isn't a lot of standing around time, so they're exhausted by the time they leave here. So it's very nice to be able to get out. I mean, we can enjoy the winter sports in Marquette, but it's nice to be able to put on a bathing suit and feel like it's summer.
The program isn't only for kids either. The YMCA has swimmers up to 70 years old who train in the water. It took everything for me not to jump in there with them. Anyone is welcome to register, so just log on to our website, uppermichigansource.com, for more information if you're interested. David?
Thanks, Gabriella. And speaking of kids staying active, we have an update on the Upper Michigan girl who took part in the National Punt, Pass, and Kick competition in Baltimore over the weekend. 9-year-old Katie Rahali of Newberry took second place. This is video of Katie practicing for the competition earlier this month. Her combined punt, pass, and kick total was 214 feet. The winner had 225 feet. The competition took place before Sunday's Baltimore Ravens playoff game. The city of Escanaba is about a month into the snow removal season. Despite the light winter, crews have already done a lot of salting and snow plowing. As long as it's not a weekend, the crew plows all the streets in Escanaba, but on the weekends they'll do the major roads. The snow fleet consists of 3 graders, 4 plow trucks, and 2 front-end loaders, and a snowmobile. The city has set aside a budget of about $500,000 for winter cleanup.
That $500,000 budget number is, the employee costs keep increasing. So with the same amount of money, you can't get as much done.
The lack of heavy snow doesn't mean the crew isn't staying busy. They've also done a lot of road patching, tree work, and maintenance around city buildings. A 5-month project is finally complete, and Our Lady of Mercy Health and Rehab in Hubble invited people from the community to see the upgrades. The therapy room has a kitchen where residents, with the guidance and supervision of a therapist, can relearn how to perform daily tasks like opening drawers and removing cups and plates. Over $800,000 was spent to enhance the rehabilitation room. Officials say approximately 40% of the patients they receive for therapy return back home to independent living. As part of the We Don't Want Them exhibit at the Peter White Public Library, a panel discussion was held tonight. It was called Are You My Neighbor? And several local housing managers were brought in to discuss discrimination practices. Bonnie Pelto, the former project manager for Marquette Housing, was on hand and stated that social stigma of low-income housing is still strong today.
Am I aware of discrimination, any other discrimination? Absolutely, within the last year. Before I left the Housing Commission a year ago, I'd been working with 4 families who had young adult disabled children.
Pelto went on to say that the family she worked with faced neighbors who didn't want them to move in, and she says this continues in some communities. Another discussion panel is scheduled for tomorrow night at the Peter White Public Library. Students at North Dickinson County School are learning about Martin Luther King through their classmates. The hope is that these kids will have a better understanding of the man if they learn it through people closer to their own age, their peers. So the Student Council teaches the 4th graders about MLK, and then the 4th graders teach the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd graders.
I think it's important that kids know what he did because he was such a great figure in the civil rights movement, and for them to understand what he did will help them know how great of a person he was.
The kids were also asked to do an art project showing their own dreams, which will be put up all around the community. Minnesota's loss is the UP's gain. Due to lack of snow, the John Bear Grease Sled Dog Marathon has been canceled. A UP 200 official says they've already seen a couple of teams sign up because of the cancellation. Bear Grease officials in Duluth, Minnesota say conditions are not safe enough for mushers, dogs, and volunteers for the race set on January 29th. UP 200 has 23 mushers signed up as of tonight. The shorter midnight run has 28 teams committed. Tonight in our Daily Pulse question, we're talking about a plan to reward Michigan students for staying in school. According to a plan proposed by Democrats, Michigan high school graduates would be eligible to have tuition and associated costs paid for at one of Michigan's community colleges or universities. So tonight in our Daily Pulse question, we're asking, should Michigan public school students who complete high school receive money to attend a Michigan public university? To share your thoughts with us, visit our website, uppermichigansource.com, and vote in the Daily Pulse. We'll have the results of tonight's question later in our newscast. Coming up tonight on Fox UP News, the National Right to Work Foundation is challenging President Obama's recess appointments to the National Labor Relations Board. We'll have the details. And a group of protesters held a rally near Governor Rick Snyder's house. Find out why.
This is meteorologist Carl Bonak. Mild day today, and especially early this morning. The low 25, that's 20 degrees below average. The high was up to 30. The mean temperature at this time of the year, the average is 22 and 5. It's been as cold as 25 below zero in 1979. Colder air is working in, and it looks like some snow for all of the UP into northern Wisconsin, but as the north winds pick up, some lake effect snow will be falling out on the west end and also in the north central UP, where lake effect snow advisories are in effect. We'll pass along your forecast details in a few minutes.
A group of protesters held a rally near Governor Rick Snyder's house today. The protesters included members of the Occupy Wall Street movement and others mobilized by the Reverend Al Sharpton. It was held outside the governor's gated home near Ann Arbor. They are challenging Michigan's financial emergency manager law. Demonstrators say it's a racially biased law and would make it easier for Michigan to take over financially struggling communities and school districts. Snyder's spokeswoman says the governor supports the citizens' right to protest. The National Right to Work Legal Defense Board is asking a federal judge to step in, declare President Obama's recent appointments to the National Labor Relations Board unconstitutional. Fox News correspondent Shannon Bream explains.
This is a constitutional crisis.
Mark Mix is president of the National Right to Work Legal Defense Foundation, one of the groups that's asking a federal judge to step in and declare President Obama's recent appointments to the National Labor Relations Board unconstitutional. They contend that the president's decision to make those and one other recess appointment while senators were home for the holidays goes beyond the constitutional limits on the executive branch, and that the Senate actually was in session at the time.
This president has said, because they won't act, I must. And I think what he said is, I don't care what the Constitution says here, and process be damned, I'm going to do what I want. And that is a very serious violation.
The White House is relying on a January 6th memo from the Justice Department issued after the president named 3 new members to the NLRB and Richard Cordray to head the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. It reads in part, quote, "The president may properly determine that the Senate is not available under the Recess Appointments Clause when, while in recess, it holds pro forma sessions where no business can be conducted. Some constitutional experts agree."
Someone showing up for 30 seconds, they hit the gavel twice, and then they're gone. That's not a real Senate session. That's not a Senate session where business could actually be done and where nominees could actually be confirmed.
There is another Justice Department memo on this topic getting plenty of attention. On April 26, 2010, then Solicitor General, now Supreme Court Justice Elena Kagan acknowledged the president's recess appointment power, but added, quote, "The Senate may act to foreclose this option by declining to recess for more than 2 or 3 days at a time." Exactly what Senate Republicans say they were doing. Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, who began using the pro forma Senate sessions in an effort to block recess appointments by then-President George W. Bush, is now predicting it won't work for Republicans this time around, and that President Obama will win the legal fight over his recess appointments. In Washington, Shannon Bream, Fox News.
A narrowed field of Republican presidential candidates stepped up to the debate stage in South Carolina tonight. Texas Governor Rick Perry wasted no time going after former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney, demanding Romney's tax records be released.
Cannot fire our nominee in September. We need to know now. So I hope you'll put your tax records out there this week so the people of South Carolina can take a look and decide if, we got a flawed candidate or not.
South Carolina Republicans head to the polls for the state's primary January 21st. No Republican has won the GOP presidential nomination without taking South Carolina. Italian Coast Guard officials say the number of people missing from the shipwrecked Costa Rica Concordia cruise liner has risen to 29. A top Coast Guard official said on state TV that 25 passengers and 4 crew members are unaccounted for 3 days after the ship crashed into a reef off the Tuscan coast and capsized. Earlier, that number stood at 16. The official didn't immediately explain the rise. The official indicated about 10 Germans were among the 29 missing. He says he holds a glimmer of hope that some of the missing might have survived.
A huge high-pressure area is developing up in northwest Canada, and there's very cold air in place up to the northwest of us. In fact, it never got above zero. In fact, well below zero through all of western Canada up into Alaska. Look for this cold to gradually filter in. We'll talk about that and snow in just a bit. Temperatures still mild, especially over the eastern UP. 33 at Munising, still 34 Manistee, Menominee, 32 at Newberry and Escanaba. Then the temperatures fall into the 20s. Coldest 24 at the Houghton County Airport. It's 25 Iron River and Ironwood. Here's that front now to the east of us, and behind it, colder air is working in. There is a wave of low pressure in northern Missouri that's kind of holding up this front and holding up the really cold air from building in. It's 6 above at Bismarck, but 8 below at Regina and Saskatchewan. And farther to the northwest, it's even colder. 26 below zero in northern Alberta and northern Saskatchewan. Even Edmonton and Calgary stayed well below 10 below zero today. And one of the coldest winters on record in Alaska. It just continues cold. In fact, Fairbanks was down to 48 below this morning. They're running 17 degrees below average for the month, and their average high is 0, their average low 18 below. For us, we're watching that wave of low pressure, and some snow is developing upstream. Some of that will work in during the day tomorrow. It looks light, but the north wind will likely add to the snow totals on the west end and also the north central UP. Then high pressure builds in for Wednesday. Seasonably cold, maybe some morning flurries. The next wave of low pressure moves in for Thursday. Behind it, gusty northwest winds bringing in bitter cold air. Some lake effect snow showers too. Back with more in a moment.
No one brings you the Smart Insight.
Well, snow forecast, it looks like 1 to maybe 2 inches of snow over a good share of the UP, more in the northern Upper Peninsula because of that north wind. 2 to 4 inches around Marquette, much of the western UP, and in the Porkies and the Gogebic Range on the west end, 4 to maybe 7 inches by the time we get into Tuesday evening. Could be as much as 4 to 6 inches in parts of Marquette and Baraga County, especially the highest elevations. Your forecast overnight, lows by morning ranging from the middle teens west to the middle 20s east. Some snow could begin toward morning in the western UP. Then for tomorrow, brisk northerly winds with some snow. Highs from near 20 into the 20s, and temperatures may actually fall back a little bit on north winds. Your Fox 5-day forecast, temperatures in the teens on Wednesday and only around 10. In fact, over the, let's say, western half of the UP, readings may stay in the single numbers for highs, and then more garden variety cold at the end of the weekend to the beginning of the weekend.
We have a nice little stretch there of cold weather, and then especially Friday hitting below zero in some places.
That's the way it looks. In fact, this is probably going to be the coldest so far this season, but the coldest area will just be a brief shot.
Oh, good news. All right. Thanks, Carl. Action drama film Contraband stole the top spot at the weekend box office. The numbers start us off in tonight's buzz. Studio estimates placed Mark Wahlberg's newest film above expectations, earning $24 million domestically. Beauty and the Beast cashed in at second with $18.5 million, followed by Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol coming in third. The flick's Joyful Noise and Sherlock Holmes Game of Shadows earned fourth and fifth place. The stars were out in Hollywood Sunday for the unofficial launch of award season. Elizabeth Corden recaps the Golden Globe's biggest winners in this special edition of the Hollywood Minute.
The Hollywood Foreign Press handed out top honors in television and film at the 69th Annual Golden Globe Awards. Ricky Gervais served as host for the third time, despite making some controversial comments last year.
They actually gave me a list of rules. I'm going to ignore them.
Some familiar faces from the big and small screens captured awards. Christopher Plummer, Laura Dern, Kate Winslet, and Kelsey Grammer all took home trophies. Madonna won for Best Original Song in a Motion Picture.
Hi. This is a surprise.
Michelle Williams got a Best Actress award for her portrayal of Marilyn Monroe in My Week with Marilyn.
Thank you to the Hollywood Foreign Press Association for putting in my hands the same award that Marilyn Monroe herself won over 50 years ago. I'm honored.
Meryl Streep took home her 8th Golden Globe for her starring role in The Iron Lady. For the leading men, George Clooney won for The Descendants. The Best in TV Comedies went to ABC's Modern Family. Showtime's Homeland won for Best TV Drama. The silent film The Artist won in the Best Musical or Comedy category. And as for Best Drama, arguably the most coveted prize of the night.
And the Golden Globe goes to The Descendants.
For Hollywood Minute, I'm Elizabeth Corridan.
It's time for our Youpers on YouTube video. Tonight we do some ice fishing. Let's take a look. You can see this young fisherman was lucky. After pulling up that line, he's rewarded with a good-sized pike fish. We're not sure where or when this video was taken, but it looks like a good spot. Remember, we want your videos, so if you have some on your camera or cell phone and would like to see them on our newscast, visit our website, uppermichigansource.com, and upload them to YouperTube. Or from your cell phone, address the message to share@youpertube.com. Our Fox UP Facebook fans wanted to know more about caring for adults as they age. What options are out there when family help just isn't enough? Places like the Mill Creek Residence Care at Marquette is one option. The live-in facility offers countless activities and a 24-hour staff that cares for its residents. A lifestyle like that can cost anywhere from $2,700 per month, depending on the person's needs. And at UP Home Health and Hospice, they provide the same help with the comfort of their client's home.
People have lived in their homes for decades, and that's where they're most comfortable. That's where their families are. That's where their families know them as a family member. And so our goal is to empower these people, these clients of ours, to stay in their homes whenever possible.
Medicare and insurance are big factors in affordability. The price per month for any service will depend on the client's needs. Still to come tonight on Fox UP News, the results of our Daily Pulse question. Should Michigan public school students who complete high school receive money to attend a Michigan public university? And in our postcard from the UP, some scenes of a snow-covered park. It's time for the results of our Daily Pulse question. Tonight we asked, should Michigan public school students who complete high school receive money to attend a Michigan public university? Here's how you voted. 61% of you said yes, while 39% said no. Mindy Ketchell commented on our website, hardworking students deserve the chance to go to school even if their family's finances wouldn't necessarily allow them to do otherwise. This could be a great trendsetter for other states. Lawrence St. John commented on our website, follow those stories about kids who cannot afford to go to the universities. How about it's a good idea must live in a place where money grows on trees? That will universities to cut costs and lower their rates. Thanks to everyone who voted and commented tonight. And be sure to vote on our Daily Pulse question. You can find the Daily Pulse on our website, OurMichiganSource.com. Carl, another weather.
Like a blustery cold day on Tuesday with temperatures probably the high will be in most locations morning, reading slowly falling. There's some snow across the area. 1 to 2 inches more in the northwind snow belts.
So not too much snow, just basically a dusting.
Right. Well, we're going to see some pretty cold this week.
Thank you very much. From the scenes of a snow-covered park. Thanks for watching. This again tomorrow, night 10.